Y'all, welcome back to Homestead. This is take 4 of this video. I've tried over and over. My canner is spewing steam. It's water bathing. We have been canning non-stop for a couple of weeks, and I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. I'm exhausted. So, excuse the mess. I look terrible. Welcome back to the channel. Standing on the Promises video. It's been a little while since I've done this. This is a Christian video, and I wanted to do one every week. That was the goal. But I said, I may do them every day. I may do them once a month. I don't know, but the goal was to do it every week. That was my goal. But I only want to speak from the heart. And I don't want it to be a forced topic trying to talk to you, because y'all are not gullible. You're not deceivable. You're going to know if something's genuine or not. And I only want to talk to you about genuine events that are happening to me, or what I've been thinking about that may have happened in the past. And I just want it genuine. I don't think you can talk about religion without being genuine. And I think you need to be genuine. Again, these are Christian videos. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. I've said that over and over. And these are not monetized. I'm not making one dime off these. I've cut the monetization off. I say that because I feel like that's important. I feel like you will respect this whole process more knowing that. I know it. I respect it more when, if someone said that, which is few and far between. So, guys, let's talk about being a role model. So I have put post-it notes on, I don't know how many scriptures that I want to read to you today about being a role model. A role model has been in my mind. Guys, on this channel, I started it several years ago. I only did it to help others. I never thought that I would ever be monetized. We're at 4,000 people as of yesterday and today. By the time we've lost subscribers, gained them, that happens more and more, the more you gain. And the more you gain on here, 99% of the people on here are like family. They're great. But you've got, one in every crowd. You've got a lot of different opinions. And you've got people that'll, if you put a video up of apples, they'll put up under here, why are you doing apples? I like oranges. You're going to have that. And I learned that really quick. And it's becoming more frequent. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I thought, what kind of role model are they being to me? They're proclaimed to know more. So why are you discouraging someone else? And you need to think about this long and hard. And I need to think about this. Again, guys, I'm not, when I say you, I'm talking about me myself. Because let me tell you something. I stand on what I know. But as far as thinking I'm something, I'm completely humble. I feel like I'm just the worst of the worst. Okay? I put up a video yesterday saying we were moving. If you want to know the honest truth, we're in a situation, we're going to move. It's a wonderful event, but to be quite honest, I don't want to move. Okay, we're going to move. It's the best thing for us. I understand this, but I don't really want to. You see my home here. Look at this right here. This is the exterior of a house. This trim was done in the, I don't know when, okay? This house was built in the 20s in the kitchen, and one room and an outhouse, and it's been added on to in the 70s, and it's an old, small farmhouse. But I'm content with it. I've had so many people in real life tell me, your little house, this house is 1,100 square feet, and it's just me and my husband. There for a while, it was just myself. Why would I need anything bigger? I'm like the Bible said, I've learned to live with a little, and I've learned to live with a lot. It really doesn't matter to me. Big fancy home, an expensive hood ornament on a car, none of this stuff matters to me, okay? I used to be that way a little bit when I first started working and had my own money, and I went out and blew a lot of money. I really did, on perfume, things like that. And I wised up really quick, like, hey, this stuff doesn't mean anything. All it does is make you feel good temporarily, and that's it. And I've just had to self-reflect that I am a simple person, and that's it. So I want to be humble. And am I being humble to others? I always want that to shine through. I'm humble. Now, if I think I'm right on something, if it's growing corn, I'm going to stand up for what I've seen and say, hey, you may need to try this. I've seen X, Y, and Z work. If I think a certain attitude or behavior is wrong, if I'm questioning about it, I'll say, hey, I think it's wrong. I'm going to do that. But everything boils down to forgiving. And we talked about forgiveness in episode 2. And guys, if you really think about what Jesus said in here, love and forgive. Every problem you've got can just about be solved if you do what he said and forgive. And every problem, period, will be solved if you love. If you are a believer, forgive, love. It's all tied in together. You think if you just forgive somebody, you know, it's so hard, but then it's over. No, not really. A, you are a role model for someone else. B, you're loving. You're loving. You're loving Christ enough to do what you don't want to do naturally. And you are doing what he said because you love him. Everything boils down to love. Everything. And guys, that to me, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to be a role model. It's so hard. I'm speaking as a 32-year-old. It seems like because people are older that they're the role models. I've respected everybody older than me. I set out with that intent. Have I always done that? No, absolutely not. I set out with that intention to respect elders. That's what the Bible says. That's what we should do. But guys, we're a role model too if you're younger. If you've got kids or grandkids, most of y'all that watch this channel are older than me from what you say. But if you've got them, not only are you a role model for them, but they're a role model to someone else too. They are actually a role model to you. It's like if you lay with dogs, you're going to get fleas. If you're angry all the time to grandma and grandpa or whoever, grandma and grandpa is not going to want to be, you know, as kind to you either. We all have to be role models to each other. And what are we modeling? If we constantly argue, if we constantly put someone down, if we constantly say we know everything, we're not being good role models. Me, okay? Me, you, everybody. I am not, that's what I said about being humble. I'm not going to sit up and say I'm perfect. Oh Lord. This is helping me, okay? This is helping me talk to you guys. I'm working it out. And it's a personal weakness of mine to argue. I just want to argue. You know, if somebody says something to me that I think is just wacko, you know, like a YouTube comment, well, I just naturally want to stand up for what I think. I think you should to a certain degree, but I don't think you need to sit up and just argue with people because it's just hard not to. You've got to, there again, tame the tongue. Why? You got to be good to other people. Turn the other cheek. Why? Forgive. Why? Love. Everything goes back to love. Everything. Everything. And there again, is it to love them? Or is it loving your Father in heaven enough to do what he says when you don't want to in the flesh? Guys, I'm working this out while I'm talking to you guys. That's why it's taken me 4 times. I can't get it out what I'm trying to say eloquently. It's hard, and we've got to be better role models. This is my personal opinion, and I'm going to say this. Since 2020, I do not think we are the same, okay? I have seen some strange things from people that that didn't behave this way before. I don't know. I don't know if we've all been in such turmoil or what. I don't know. There's some undertones with this. You can probably pick it up. But with just something happened, okay? Something happened and people don't act the same. In my opinion, people are just different. And people are just fighting constantly and short-tempered and myself included, and stressed and aggravated and just not, you know, there's less love. There's a whole lot less love. Like I said, I've been on edge so much lately. I mean, I thought it was the 2 passings that we had in the family, but I can hold it together. But if somebody comes at me, then I just, you know, it's hard. Here's an example. The other day, I put a screenshot on my phone on Facebook. We have had terrible heat here in Alabama. Terrible. But it's nothing like out west. I've never been anywhere out west. Furthest north I've been is Virginia. Okay, I would still say that's in the part we were in. It's still the south. So same climate, kind of, during the summer. It's humid here. It's very humid. But I put up a screenshot on the Weather Channel app on my phone of Phoenix, Arizona, and the temps. And the actual temp was 114 degrees. And I put, gosh, we think it's hot here. You know, at least we're not out there. And I had, one person was like, yeah, I've been out there. It's been so hot. It's terrible. And I had several people put, well, it's not humid like it is here. You know, it's nothing the same. I didn't say that. I didn't say it wasn't, I said, I understand. I've always heard it's a dry heat out there. It's not humid, but it's just hot. I saw yesterday, Death Valley had like 129 degrees or 126. I don't want to be there, okay? I don't want to be there in the 126 degrees. I mean, I don't want to be there. It may not be as humid as Alabama. It may feel like a winter breeze. I don't know. I was just telling you it was warm. But I had people, it was so bad I deleted the post. I mean, guys, this is society now. And I knew these people. I mean, I know them. And they were just, well, maybe they think they're educating me constantly. I don't know. I mean, all I'm trying to do is just have something to say, you know. And the reason I put it is in one of my little Facebook prepper groups. Somebody had put that they were in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it was so hot there. And I said, well, let me look up Phoenix. You know, I immediately looked up Phoenix on the weather app, and sure enough, I thought the person was lying. They put up a picture of a screen, and it had like 116 each day and 114. I thought, that can't be the temp out there. And sure enough, it was. And I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, you know, that might make us Alabama folks feel better about the heat a little bit, because it was just about unbreathable outside. So, and people talk about the humidity every year. Guys, it's always been humid. And guys, I tell you, it's going to be humid from here on out, probably. It's the trees, it's the Gulf, it's just heat, okay? But that example right there, were those people, were they being role models? You know, were they necessarily doing anything wrong? Probably not. But do you want to conduct yourself that way? You know, I don't know. I don't want to be that one in every crowd. I want to be an example and be a ray of light and encourage others. That's what being a role model is, encouraging and being an example. How many people today in society do we have to look up to? Not many, okay? Not many. From the higher ups, anything you turn on the news, all the way down to your local community. Who can you look up to? And like I said, the role models that I thought I had, guys, there's been a lot of really deep thinking lately. And people disappoint you. That's human nature. But who do we have to follow? Who? I think that's the problem. There's no moral leadership for us Christians to follow. And it's just not cool anymore to do right. It's not. What's cool is to get on here and make a clown out of yourself and sit up and try to act like you know everything, always be right, always want to be the bully. That's what's cool right now. To me, I mean, I shouldn't have said a clown, but that's what's popular, you know, and that's not humble. That's not humble. It's not long-suffering. It's not patient. And I've done it. Y'all have done it. We've all done it. But we can't, as my preacher said Sunday, you can't make this stuff a habit. And I'm very, very afraid we're making things habits. And I have to really watch myself. I mean, I do. I'm trying so hard. But it's harder right now than it was 5 years ago to me. It's really hard. And I think most of us can agree to that. And guys, younger people are role models to the people around them their own age. They're role models to their kids. You don't have to be a mother. You don't have to be a father. You don't have to be in the highest political office in the U.S. You don't have to do anything in life, any kind of title to be a role model. All those are just extra baggage that you've got to carry to make sure that you're a role model. But if you're single, if you're young but grown, you're a role model, okay? You're a role model to every human that you talk to. What are we role modeling? We're role modeling Jesus Christ, and we've got to continue doing it. We've got to do better. I have to do better. I have to. I don't want him, I wouldn't want Jesus treating me the way that I've treated people, you know? I don't want to get to heaven and we just start arguing about what I did and I thought it was right. Does anybody think about that? I mean, that's laughable, guys. You think about it. When we get to heaven and, you know, every deed that we've ever done wrong, you know, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Everybody will do that. And it makes me wonder, with people that are so stiff-necked in society, and myself included, it's going to be tough to sit here and say what I've done is wrong. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Do you know anybody humble? Do you know a role model? I mean, this is tough stuff. So I'm going to keep on trying to be the best role model for every homesteader, everybody that comes in contact on this channel that I can be. And I'm going to try to keep being one and be a better one and be one in general. For the people that I know, for the people that are around me, for the people that I talk to, we all falter. There again, it all boils down to forgiveness. We've got to forgive others. Everybody falters, and you got to forgive your role models when they disappoint you. We've got to love, because you're role modeling to them, even though they were the role model. We all are role models, and that hit me. You know, I always thought just my parents were, and my preacher and whoever. I thought they were just the role models. No, we are role models. You, whoever is watching me right now, whether it be a 3-year-old to a 300-year-old, whatever position you are, whatever career you've had, whatever you are, you're a role model to everybody around you, because you're modeling after Jesus. So let me read you these right here. And guys, this is genuine as it can be today. I know it's been scattered, but this is just just what I want to talk about. Okay, so I hope that you don't just listen to it. I hope you look these up in your Bible. I had to write the scripture down on the side. I've got several here. I just do better when I read it. And there again, I felt feelings of turmoil, all this other stuff. I get my Bible out. Here's the answer. I mean, here's the answer right here, always, for every situation. 1 Samuel 16:7. I really like Samuel. I really do. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible, 1 Samuel is. 1 Samuel 16:7, if I can find it. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Reading that before I did this video, that's why I talked about the house. It means nothing to me. The outward appearance, now I think you need to try around your house, keep it clean, keep it, you know, I think you need to do that. Be a good steward of the home and your family. I think you do. But as far as whether I'm living in Beverly Hills, it means nothing to me, okay? God looks at us, what he's saying right there that way. It don't matter if we're short, we're tall. My husband's 6'7", I'm 5'5". You know, it don't matter if we're tall, short, big, skinny, you know, polka dot. It don't matter. He looks at the heart and how we feel. Us women, we spend so much time, you know, nails, you see these callous things, makeup, hair. I'm there. I don't film without makeup on. I can't. I just don't. You know, I care about that. But did I care how I acted in front of somebody yesterday? That's what we need to worry about. Men, y'all want to shave or, you know, you look nice or shine your shoes, if people still do that anymore, or want to look good if you go to church on Sunday or whatever. But do you care about how you acted yesterday? Or do you care about how you talked to your wife before you left the dinner table? Were you being a good role model? We're role models. Instead of just looks, it's role models. So the Lord looks at the heart. Okay, let's keep on moving. Ooh, let's keep on moving. Just Google scripture about being a role model. You'll find dozens. I'm going to tell you, anything Jesus Christ said, there's your role model. I mean, everything in the red letters. That's what we should do. Everything in the Bible we should do. But every command he gave, that's where we need to go. And guys, I would not be telling the truth if I didn't say those are some big shoes to fill. They're very tough to fill, those shoes. But as long as we're trying and walking with him in those shoes. Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And we'll read that again. Let your light shine before good men. I don't take that as just being happy every day. You know, I'm happy even though there's a hurricane right here. You know, I don't think that's it, okay? I think what he said, let your light shine. I'm going to forgive you. You've done me wrong, I'm going to forgive you. You were angry at me, I'm going to forgive you. You were ugly to me. I'm going to forgive you. You started arguing with me. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be long-suffering. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be kind. Let your light shine. I'm not going to get angered. Patience and love is just, that's your root system here. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Everything we do as a role model of Christ, and I don't think, I have to sit and think about this, but I don't think many of us think of this often. I know I don't. Every single thing I do represents Jesus Christ. Everything. We've got, you know, I've talked about politics before. We've got the House of Representatives. They represent us, okay? Now, I've got some representatives from this state in Alabama. I don't agree with what they think, not one way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't agree with how they vote. I don't agree with the bills that they come up with. They do not represent me, but they're voting that way. And they technically do represent me. You know, now the guy over my district is, we agree on the same stuff. But what I'm saying is, though, there's people from my home turf here, me, that's representing me. And I don't agree with it. So every time that we walk out the door, every time we say one word inside the home, every time we do anything, we're representing Christ. Does he agree with what we're doing? We're voting for him right now. What we're doing is casting his vote. Are you voting in line with Christ? Voting metaphorically. Or are you going against what he says? Every action you do is kind of like a vote. Everything that you do represents him. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I've got to be better. We have got to think about this. And we've got to be humble. We've got to be. Just because you're older, just because you've got a PhD, or just because whatever, it doesn't mean that you're right. There's only one way to be right. This, the Holy Bible, that's what's right. So if you're not in line with this, then you're not right. I'm not right if we're not doing what he said. So that to me that's huge. Okay, let's keep moving. Ephesians. Ephesians is chock full of some good stuff. Look at my notes here. I mean, it's just, ooh, it's chock full. Ephesians, and guys, I've got a journaling Bible I got at Moon Pie General Store in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and it's a journaling King James. I use the journaling side for notes, but that's been the best thing here to write notes in the Bible. Ephesians 6, 1 through 4. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Now, that's what I was saying earlier. I always look up to my parents. I look up to everybody older than me. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. That right there, everybody knows that. Everybody knows honor thy father and mother. Everybody knows it. The 10 Commandments. I hope that they know that. That is very standard. But a lot of people don't read this far. Verse 4, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. So that's what I'm saying about this video. Everybody, young, old, parent, child, grandmother, grandchild, great-grandfather, great-grandson, preacher, teacher, pupil, whatever. The big dog, the little dog, everybody needs to role model for each other. They need to show mutual respect, but they need not only respect. To me, if I think about showing mutual respect, I'm going to be kind to you, I'm going to hold my tongue, and I'm going to go my separate way. That's different to me than being a role model. A role model takes it a notch further. It's like putting Cajun seasoning in a pot of stew. It takes it up a notch. You know, being the role model is different in my thoughts and mind. When I sit and think that I need to have respect for somebody, I got respect for everybody. But if I need to be a role model to them, then that's totally different. I'm going to start acting different. We've got to be a role model to everybody. All right, Colossians 3:21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Guys, this is all throughout the Bible, and I don't know how many honestly think of it. Now, right before it, it says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. And then, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. That's why I flagged that one. Lest they be discouraged. When we are ugly to others, when we don't do right, when we don't, again, metaphorically, we're representing Jesus. And when we don't vote on the same lines of what he thinks, and we're not representing him right, not only is that making others angry and hurt, it's discouraging them. That's hard with this YouTube, I'm telling you. Every time I put up a video and people get up under here and pick apart what I say, or they say that I don't know anything, that's hard. It's discouraging. That is so true. And I'm not necessarily saying parents and children. This says parents and children, but anybody older, anybody in general. When you provoke somebody to anger, it discourages them. Or it can if their moral compass is on track. In my book, okay? If your moral compass is on track and you take heed to what others say as far as advice, yeah, you're gonna be discouraged. I've always heard my whole life that I take everything too seriously. It's because I respect people that much. I shouldn't, but I've always heard that, and that's been a downfall of me. I worry too much about what people think. And that is true. I should only worry what my Father in heaven thinks. But I feel like whatever I'm hearing from people here on earth is a good indicator of, you know, how I'm being. I don't want to screw up. I don't want to upset people. I don't want to make people mad. I want to do right by people. And so if they're not happy with me, then I get all wound up. And that's been very hard on this channel because I don't even know a lot of y'all. I don't know any of y'all. And it's tough. You know, I don't want to displease anybody. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be sinful. You know, that's tough, and you get discouraged. So, we need to think about how we treat others because we don't want to discourage them. And you never know what somebody's going through at home. You never know. You never know. I don't know how many times in the past 2 months, since all these events have happened, I've walked out of the house with a smile on my face. I don't feel like smiling a lot of days. It's tough. Just missing my grandmother, you know? That's tough. I've had to be strong for others. I've had to do things I didn't want to do. I've had to do a lot, and I just didn't feel like it. You just never know what somebody's going through. And you've got to be real careful because one little snarky temperature comment, you know, well, it's not that bad out there. It's a dry heat. You know, something like that may tear somebody to pieces because they've just had it to hear. You know, we're supposed to, what's the Bible say in here? Edify each other. We're supposed to build each other up if we're walking in the Christian faith. I'm not saying if somebody's doing something immoral that you should support that. No. You still ought to be a good role model to them, no matter whether they're doing something good, bad, or indifferent. That's tough, guys. Woo, that's tough. Okay, next. 1 Timothy 4:12. 4:12. Let no man despise thy youth. Do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, this is a lot of young, old, back and forth. Let no man despise thy youth. But be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. That's one of my favorite scriptures right there. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and purity. And it says in the Bible, you know, I think Jesus said, go to your closet and pray where only my Father sees you. And in this little old home that's little and small and old, I have a prayer closet. I turned one of the little closets because I didn't even need the space. I turned it into a prayer closet. That's where I like to go a lot of times. I'll go to my prayer closet. And it's something about, you just feel like you're wrapped up in a cocoon. No one sees me doing that. And that's one reason I hesitated so long with these videos. I didn't want to seem like a hypocrite. And I didn't want to seem disingenuous, and I just wanted to help others. And I feel like so much real stuff's going on with me, and I'm certainly not hearing it on YouTube or hearing it from others or seeing it from others. Somebody's going to have to stand up and take a stand and act right and get a hold of this stuff before it gets worse, because I'm telling you, society is shot. It's shot. It's terrible. It's terrible. So be an example in faith and purity. Are we pure? I'm not pure. In faith, my faith's been shaken lately. In spirit, my spirit's it's all over the road. In charity, love, It's been rough, guys. Every bit of this. In conversation, it's been, in word, everything. That's what I'm saying. I've got to do better. I've got to do better. But I circle back to the end. My faith is rock solid on Jesus Christ. That is rock solid. I may, like I talked about the egg, I may wonder about heaven. I may wonder about what's up there. What, look at the egg. Heaven is there. And all that I talked about with that. It's been shaking lately. But when I needed God the most, he has spoken to me in quiet moments, just like this one, the past 2 months, and given me faith. And it's rock solid. All right. Titus 2:7. If I can find it here. In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works. My preacher talked about this Sunday, and I mentioned that just now. Don't let this stuff become a habit. We all sin, but it's when it's habitual that there's a problem here. And I'm real too close to comfort for stuff. I've got to shape up or ship out one of the two. I got to pull it together. And I think we all, if you sit and really think about what you're doing, we got to retrain ourselves. We got to retrain ourselves, not only how we act. And I'm one of these, I can hold it together in front of people. When I come home, that's when I won't say what I think. And I've got to quit thinking this way. I've got to forgive. I've got to love. I've got to, we all need a wake-up call. We all do. I certainly do. More than most, more than any. I need a wake-up call. Like, hey, you have got to quit doing this. You've got to quit being angry. You've got to quit sinning. You've got to quit, And guys, as bad as I'm saying I am, I would say overall, honestly, I'm a good kid. I'm a good person. I'm a good young woman. I've never even had a speeding ticket, okay? I've had a warning one time, a written warning. I was late for work. That's, so if I'm holding myself to a high standard here, a very high standard, the only standard, there is no other standard. And if we all break down and see, this is tough. This is very tough. Okay, last but not least, 1 Peter 2:21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. I'll read it again. For even hereunto were ye called. We're called. We're called to be role models. If you're a professing Christian, you're watching me, you're called to be a role model. If you're anybody that's not a Christian watching me, and I hope that I can impact one person, let me tell you something. It will change your life upside down. You will have a guidance to go by. You will have faith to lean on. And you will have a Savior for the sins that you can't overcome. Okay? That's it. You are called. You have a purpose. We all have a purpose. Whether you're told you're doing it wrong, whether you're told you're not making the mark, whether you feel like you're a failure. Again, it talked in here being discouraged. No matter what, you are called. We've got to keep going because Christ also suffered for us, for me, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. And then on into this, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. He committed to stay the course. No matter what. He is, and will always be the ultimate role model. All right, guys. Cheer up. Get out there and impact somebody. Well, no, you don't have to go to Walmart. Don't have to meet a stranger on the street. Start with whoever you talk to on the phone next or whoever you see in your house. See you guys next time on Homestead.